All right, what's going on, guys? So it's gonna be a short Mazda Monday because I know I kind of bored you guys last week with that 40-minute video that was supposed to be short. But today we'll take a little break because I still didn't get the draggy 0 to 60 times because the times aren't uploaded. They're actually on the app that's on his phone. So I'll get those for you guys next week. But I feel like we should just take a little break from just the education part, and I want to give back to the community and also, help my other business out since I've been taking so much time away from that business to work on this tuning side of business. I decided to do a giveaway. So recently, obviously, I've been doing a lot of tuning. I tuned the fourth gen turbos. I tuned second gen turbo, or if I get a second gen, I'll turbo it, whatever. But right now, I do second gen through fourth gen, supercharger builds for all of those, Cork Sport turbo kits. I actually tuned 2 Cork Sport turbo kits within the last week. Actually, one of the guys blew up, but it is not because of the kit. The kit is amazing, flawless. It makes more power than the supercharger kit, but ultimately, with great power comes great responsibility. Those kits can make 10 psi boost at low RPM, whereas with the superchargers, you can't really make 10 psi at low RPM because our boost is controlled by RPM, so we can only get higher boosts as we go higher up in the RPM, and a turbo can spool up independently of RPM. So with that being said, many of you guys don't need forged internals, right? The only customers I feel that need forged internals are these turbo customers. So if you're a third gen and you're gonna run your own custom turbo kit or the Cork Sport turbo kit, and you actually wanna turn that kit up to get more power out of it, I got these rods here. Maybe even if you don't wanna put a turbo kit on your car and you just want the lighter rotating assembly, these rods that I have right here are actually lighter than the OEM rods from what it feels like. I'm not 100% sure, but let me go ahead and show you guys. So this is the only company that makes rods for the 2.5 liter Skyactiv. There's many companies that make 2.5 liter rods for the MZR engine, and there's a whole bunch of companies that make Skyactiv 2.0 liter rods. But this is the only company that I know that makes rods for the 2.5 liter Skyactiv. But now these rods specifically are for the third gen. There aren't any companies right now that make aftermarket rods for the fourth gen Skyactivs. Because honestly, if you have a fourth gen, the most cost effective thing to do is just to buy a turbo model car with the beefier rods. But for some of us like me, it wasn't cost effective at the time for me to try to get a turbo model, so I supercharged it. But with these superchargers, we are pushing the max amount of power safely. So anything more than what we're pushing with the supercharger, you're especially in the fourth gen, you're gonna bend the rod. So we've had a couple motors that have gone, but it wasn't necessarily due to the tuning or the motor not being able to handle it. It was just either neglect. It's just simple things that could have been avoided, and it could happen to anybody. So we have had third gens and fourth gens blow up, but all of them could have been prevented. So for my third gen guys, since you're the only ones who are kind of capable of blowing your motor up, just trying to achieve the max amount of power, I want to give you guys an opportunity to win these forged rods. So these are from Kingtec. I know it's a Chinese company. Ooh, things from China are not a big deal. The supercharger kit that comes from China. I have one of my customers. He's at almost 90,000 miles on his supercharger kit, and yeah, it came from China. So just because something comes from China doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, guys. I know it has a bad reputation, but don't just disregard something because of where it's from. So right now, this is the only company that makes it. So you kind of like either get the rod or you don't, and you risk blowing up your motor if you want to push the, push the boost a little bit more. So like I said, I tuned 2 Cork Sport customers in the last week. One of them did blow up his motor on his way over here to Colorado. So he was coming from Ohio to Colorado, and he ended up blowing his motor in Kansas. Now, it wasn't the kit's fault, because I have a customer that I also tuned this week that had 20,000 miles on his Cork Sport kit with the original off-the-shelf tune, no issues. The customer just wanted to upgrade the tune. Now, this customer that blew up, he had the Cork Sport kit, and he was, moving here to Colorado, so he had a lot of weight in his car. Like, he had his dogs and all this stuff. He had packed all his stuff in his car, so there's like a whole bunch of weight, and he had like stuff on top of the car apparently that was causing wind resistance. So his MPG had went from like 40 miles per gallon to like 20. So he had all this resistance, and if you don't understand how to set up your boost controller, because like I said, the turbo spins independently of the RPM, you can build boost very fast. Anytime you have a lot of weight, that's considered like load resistance. So when he was cruising around, 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, because he had so much weight in the car was building boost. And like with the Cork Sport Turbo kit set up on the regular setting is 9.5 pounds of boost. So imagine he was getting like 9.5 pounds of boost while he's cruising at 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. And so he wasn't even gunning it. He was just driving normal, and a rod went out. So things you can do to combat that is knowing how to use your boost controller and to adjust your wastegate. So the wastegate is gonna control that boost curve. So a lot of people don't know how to do that. So like that's something important you guys should probably YouTube if you do get the Cork Sport kit, is how to adjust the wastegate, so you can determine how fast you need the boost to build, or if you need to taper it back down. So yeah, that happened, and it was unfortunate. I don't blame the Cork Sport kit. It works great. I have 3 Cork Sport Turbo customers so far, and I mean, the kit works. So for us supercharger guys, I'm actually getting back on the dyno. The superchargers for the 2.5 liter, you're kind of capped at 260 wheel horsepower. It is what it is, guys. It's a supercharger. It's a quick power gain. I mean, you can't really complain about that. That's 106 wheel horsepower. Because I was 154. I'm going back on the dyno to hit the 260. So that's 106 wheel horsepower. Now, and with that being said, the turbo kit is gonna make 300 wheel horsepower with my tuning. That's what it's looking like when I do all the calculations with the airflow and everything. So there's parasitic losses with the supercharger that you don't have with the turbocharger. So if I have customers at sea level, those superchargers are peaking at 12 psi. Now the thing is, at 12 psi of airflow, that's equivalent to this turbocharger running 7 to 8 psi. So the turbocharger is way more efficient at making that power. You don't need as much boost to make the same amount of power. So even with that Cork Sport kit at like 8 psi, it's gonna make 300 horsepower, and the supercharger with 12 psi is only gonna make 260. And like I said, the supercharger's capped out at like 260, which is plenty of power. That's enough power to beat a turbo model. But if my turbo models do get tuned, that's a different story. Then you'll need that Cork Sport kit to keep up with the 4th gens. So I am gonna do this giveaway, guys. It's gonna be next week. Just kind of wanted to show you what this giveaway was gonna be. It's gonna be these rods right here. We did open one because I actually had a 4th gen customer that ordered it. He blew up his motor, and we want to see if maybe the 4th gen or the 3rd gen rod would fit in the 4th gen, and it doesn't. So this was early on. This happened last year, and we were trying to find a way to make the motor stronger, and unfortunately Fort Gen doesn't have anything, and in order for this company, he does custom rods, and in order for him to start manufacturing Fort Gen rods, he needs a minimum of 7 orders, which costs about $2,200. So as of right now, these rods that I have, I believe there's a total of 4 sets. And one of my customers in Florida has a set installed in his car with the supercharger. Another one of my customers that had a supercharger has a set. I haven't been in contact with him, so he's the only other person with a set of these rods besides the customer that has it installed in their car. The last set is with the owner of the company, Kingtec, for Kingtec Racing. So these are very limited. So there's only like 4 sets of rods in existence for the 2.5 that are forged, guys, that are aftermarket at least. This one has a little bit of wear on it just because he tried to get this to fit in the Fort Gen assembly. So it's perfectly fine. There's just a little wear because we did try to fit it on the piston and see if it would get on there, and unfortunately it doesn't fit. All right, so there's only one slightly used rod here, but one of you 3rd gen customers, or if you're just a normal customer and you want to just have a set of rods for some reason, we're gonna do this giveaway. And to enter the giveaway, what I want to do is kind of help my company that I have here out. And I mean, the company's been pretty much running itself, but I'm there less now because I'm doing stuff for Mazda. And what I'm going to do next week is anyone who purchases something from the website, I'm going to enter you guys in a drawing for these rods. All right, so you just have to buy one item from my Jaywalker's website, and I'm going to put your name, the drawing for this. So pretty much what I'll do next week when I do my YouTube video, I'll give you the code, and when you go to do your checkout, you enter the code, and that is going to automatically enter you in for a chance to win these 3rd gen aftermarket forged rods of one of 4 set that I know of in existence. And if more wants to be produced, somebody has to order 7 of them to start producing these again. So there's a full set, all 4 of them. You know, these are all wrapped up, they haven't been touched. And just for comparison, this rod right here is from a turbo motor. This is from a 2006 Audi A4 that I owned, that I blew the motor and built it afterwards. But look at the size difference in these rods. So you're not gonna have any issues with these. I have a customer, like I said, in Florida that has been running these for at least 15 to 20,000 miles with no issues. And along with the rods, it comes with your ARP fasteners right here. So you get high quality fasteners with your Chinese rods. All right, so that's it for that. I'll give you more information if you do want to get in contact with Kingtec. I haven't talked to him in a while, but yeah, he can get you some custom rods if you want, or you can win this set that I have right here. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, guys, that's it for that. Hopefully one of you guys who are planning on doing the Cork Sport Turbo kit wins these rods, because I would really like to turn up one of those kits. Yeah, like I said, that guy who, he was on the base tune, blew up his motor, unfortunately, and then, he contacted me afterwards, and, I got him set up with a new tune for this elevation. So, unfortunately, I didn't know about this customer until it was too late. And, now he's on my tune and he's pretty happy. I was hoping that he wanted these rods, but maybe in the future he'll order the rods on his own. But, it is what it is. And, we have a lot of great things coming for the Mazda community. So one of my customers just got done filming last week with that dude in blue. So we'll be having one of our VT superchargers get reviewed on the channel. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this or not, but so we're getting some kind of Skyactiv action going on in the community. And then our other guy, Panda, Derek. Nobody calls him Derek. We call him Panda. So he also got his magazine release, and just giving a shout out to him for mentioning me up in his magazine. So getting my name out there a little bit. I appreciate you guys. I've been seeing all your posts on Reddit, and I do appreciate you guys. So if every once in a while you see a new tune file in your email, that's probably because I saw you might have mentioned me somewhere, because I don't have to do these updates, but I'm gonna do them for you guys because I want y'all to have the best tune, and there's always going to be improvements to be made. So that's what I'm going to do. But that's it for today, guys. I know there wasn't anything technical for you to learn, but I guess you learned that there are forged rods for the 2.5 liter Skyactiv motor. And that being said, I do in the next couple weeks want to give you a breakdown for each second gen through fourth gen, what parts are available, because I know a lot of people are just looking for aftermarket parts, and I'm making a big list right now of all the parts that are available, the best ones, what I would do if I was in your shoes. And yeah, we'll just go through that because there's a lot of parts I feel like people don't even know exist for the platform, like these rods. And I'm trying to find stuff, like it was, I randomly, I don't even know how I found this company a long time ago, but I found them, and then I told a couple guys about them. One of them installed it in his motor. The other one, we couldn't do it because they only go for third gen. And yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Catch you later.